water. Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, everybody? What's going on, everyone in the On the Chain family? What's up? What's up? What's up? Ripple XRP news. Was there a really big fail that we're going to talk about? You know, Chip, when I'm always been fed up with all these big price speculations and all this stuff, they hit over and over and over and over again. But you're going to hear that everywhere but here. That's the whole point. Flare going up to 3 cents. Can it hit 4, 5, 10 cents in the near future? That is exciting news to see. Other people want to talk about that. And we got some other things we want to dig into. Namely, we're going to talk about Gold Coast. Chip, I want to talk a little bit about what it's like building on the XRPL. And I think we have a whole bunch of other things that are key, critical, of importance that we want to get into.
Well, why don't we get it started then? Should we get it started?
Let's dive off that diving board right into the shallow end.
Boom. I like that for maximum impact.
There you go.
Gotta love it. All right, let's get this show on the road. You ready? Let's
do it.
Let's wait. Everything's not queued up. Here we go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Whoa. Jeff.
Whoa. Give a quick shout out where you're tuning in from. Doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. Give a shout out to where you are doing it from. I don't want to know what you're doing, just where you're doing it from. Meaning, where are you in the world today?
Unless somebody's sitting in the room of the house where, there's porcelain.
Don't tell us where you are.
Yeah, they don't need to know that much. We just need to know.
When I know
the details, right? Just kind
of a bigger sense of the world, like One Eye Willie over there, over in NYC, anti-crypto, New York City.
Yeah, it's like I am so
Blew
sorry.
Up in Tampa, that kind of thing. Man, we got Abu Dhabi, which is pretty cool. Cass Corridor, I would say, is somewhere in Detroit. That's where the Cass Corridor is.
Yeah, let's do it. So,
right. When are we doing an XRP meetup? That's a great question.
That's a good meetup. I'll tell you where we're going to be doing a meetup. That
where,
Jeff and I are going to be. Oh, in Australia, Jeff. The Gold Coast.
The Gold Coast of
Australia. South of Brisbane, about 9-hour drive north of Sydney.
Man,
that's where we are going to be. And here's it right here. So, boom, get ready for this epic weekend of blockchain brilliance. XRP Gold Coast 2024. Lineup of keynote speakers, unparalleled. And the best in the business. And this is the event of 2024, maybe 25. That's a little hard to speculate right there, but
biggest event of 2024 and 2025.
We're ready to that.
You heard it here first.
We're calling it. Amazing group of blockchain. Have you ever seen such an amazing group of blockchain experts? I'm going to go with no. Mark your calendars. Friday evening, March 22nd, we kick off a meet and greet poolside welcome party. Here's your chance. You know who's going to be playing that party? None other than XRP Bags, who is phenomenal.
Nice. Well, are we going to be there? We are going to be there. That's a Friday evening. Sweet.
Friday evening. Security tickets now.
Nebraska in the house.
Also, too, it's about 125, 130 for a virtual pass. You say you can't make it, you can watch us virtually. Like, tag, retweet, follow Wave of Innovation for upcoming announcement on how to win one of these epic tickets. Whoa.
Epic.
And look at just right there. So there you go right there. Some big dogs. You got John Deaton, Aaron McDonald, Futureverse and Readyverse. Phenomenal. Of course, you got the two biggest things going on in the metaverse. And it's not meta, but you got Aaron McDonald of Futureverse, and you got Dirk from Xspectorverse, which is great. Then you got Bill Morgan, phenomenal attorney. He is also a sponsor of the event, Morgan Mac Attorneys, and he's also an Aussie. And we've got Neil Smith from Ripple talking about tokenization. Of course, the amazing Crypto Eddie is going to be there. Sweet. Scott Chamberlain from Evernode, Ross Edwards, another one from Ripple Labs. We got Ripple Labs there. Dr. Maria Pianica, she's a blockchain expert, written books, very amazing. Jake Hambo, which we talk about Spend the Bits all the time. Jay will be there.
Jay will be there. Yes.
He'll be there with aggressively average content, but I think it'll be a better content than usual. It'll be slightly better average content. But the bull will be there. Matt Donovan from, yes, you guessed it, Ripple. That's right. And oh my gosh, Jeff, look at that. You and I will be there as well. We will be
Holy
emceeing
cow!
the
Look at
event.
those guys.
We will be emceeing the event, and you got Shen Morikami. Shen, I was in a space with him. He's on the Zertman project. They're rolling out a game, which is amazing. Jerome Fowry. You've got Josh Kim from XRPL Korea. Sadaf Jaran, she's from a strategic consultant, also involved in a lot of projects. Lisa Edwards, crypto stocks, Forex trader, and Jeff Mwai from Y Finance. And that's just some of them, Jeff.
I'll tell you what, Chip. The only reason why I'm going is to go see Chip and Jeff, personally.
We're gonna go to see ourselves. I love it. We're gonna go to see ourselves. That's good. That's great. Phenomenal. We're gonna go
how I roll.
See ourselves. So what do you think about that? It's gonna be
I think it's awesome.
An epic adventure.
It is very, very cool.
Yeah, very epic adventure. And also too, the way they've done it is really good. They've kept the ticket prices pretty low. Again, this is a not for profit, so this isn't like a money making venture. It's not like let's do this big thing to go ahead and pull a lot of money here. It's not. There's Matt LaRoche.
Wild for truth. The event for sure. Matt LaRoche. Thought we were mates. What?
Thought we were mates. What is he saying?
I don't know. He thought we were mates.
We are mates. We are mates. What are you talking about? We're talking about there, Matt. Matt has he changed his name on every platform, so I don't know what his name is. The event for sure.
Value for money is off the charts.
It really is off the charts, Jeff.
That's right.
It really is. I'll tell you.
By the way, that's the Rumble conversation. So if you're watching over on Rumble, we got a bunch of people watching on Rumble. Go ahead and chat in the chat. Put in your questions, commentary. Let us know where you're tuning in from over on Rumble as well, because we're interested in knowing. And Oregon just showed up. Man, I didn't even know we had any viewers over in Oregon. It's that foreign land of Oregon, and there's David English.
You do know we do have tickets. That's amazing. I'm trying to find the tickets on here. Where in the
tickets are right there.
The venue. Let's see. I clicked on tickets, but
and the venue. We looked at the venue yesterday. The venue looks pretty outstanding. You guys haven't seen it yet. The ticket. We can put a link.
Here we go.
Over there as well, which is pretty cool.
So again, here we go. Let's put this up here. So there's a gold pass right there. Gold pass ranges from 79 to 1200. This is US. The silver pass will all general admission, VIP experience, includes VIP seating, poolside party reception, meet and greet Friday night, Saturday night the hydrate bar, cocktail party, Sunday night the after party. So there's 3 big parties, meet and greets going on with that. VIP drink service area, VIP gift bag and NFT. And accommodation. So that's $861, which look at other events. It's very reasonable for what you get, especially the after party on Sunday night, the Saturday and Friday night as well. If you just interested in a 2-day pass, you can get the 2-day pass for $252. That gets you two days in there.
2 days of fun.
So it is really absolutely incredible, and
it's pretty amazing. And then if you check out where it's at. There's a 1-day pass.
Yeah, 1-day pass.
I like how they design these tickets. These tickets are nicer than if you went to Disneyland. That's how great those tickets are.
Nobody really wants to go to Disneyland because why would you want to go to the Gold Coast, man? Gold Coast is it's got so much going on. I want to just go on that roller coaster I see in the ad, Jeff. That's what I want to do. But the 2-day virtual is $128. Amazingly fairly priced. Fantastic, right? Plus they're giving stuff away as well. Then you've got the meet and greet with speakers and guests. This is
all you want to just go to the pool party. That's pretty cool too.
So if you just want to go to the pool party, but the thing is that's why all the value is packed in here. If you look at what you get in the silver pass, incredible. And obviously the gold pass it's a little bit step up, but still it's good stuff. So
it is good. Come on, slackers.
Jim D, are you coming to this? I can't see why Jim D wouldn't want to head over there. Come on, man. I would love to see Jim D over there in person. I'd love to meet some of you guys in person, and I can't think of a better place to do it.
Dude, Jake from State. Nice.
And look at this. Look at 3 nights of accommodations. Amazing. They're staying at an amazing resort. I mean, the Royal Pines is phenomenal. Matt LaRoche can tell you all about it. Actually, he works there as well, but it's a phenomenal event, Jeff.
Follow at Wave of Innovation on Twitter for tweets about the incredible menu to feed everyone each day, each night, like a Degustation. Degustation. Taste sensations.
Wagyu beef.
Wagyu.
Degustation.
Wagyu.
Wagyu beef. That's what it is. And I'm
Dude,
gonna drop the
that's
I'm
awesome.
gonna drop the Twitter in there, so you guys please just go give it a follow.
Steak
Go ahead.
tartare.
You guys are all on X. Go ahead. There it is right there. Go follow Wave of Innovation. Just tossed it in there. The Wave of Innovation, people. I'm watching it.
Mark wants to know what package will give him a continuous flow of cold, carbonated alcoholic beverages.
Well, the gold pass is going to be close to that. The silver is not far behind it, but a continuous. We don't want to be hammered during the event.
What we need is like an unlimited drinks package, similar to if you're on a cruise. You get the drinks package.
Yeah. Well,
there you go. That's pretty sweet.
Of innovation.
That's your thing,
Jeff.
You know what? Gold Coast. The Gold Coast. It's going to be pretty good. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing.
And also, too, this is pretty cool. This guy, I'm curious about Tom Tate. He's the mayor of the Gold Coast, so he's actually popping in there. This is how big this event is. You got the mayor of the Gold Coast in Queensland coming in there. This guy looks. I don't know about this guy, but I just look like he's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't know. It's just my sort of inkling on that, Jeff. And
yeah. So by the way, it's Degu. I can't even read it. Degustation. Degustation. Isn't that what I said? Degustation. Did I say degustation? That says degustation. There's no degustation.
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 To us to blow the words right there. Also, Neil Smith.
If that was a last name, we were perfect. Spot on. 4
speakers from Ripple talking about some real, exciting stuff. So it's great, man. We're super excited about it. I want to know who's coming with us. What kind of OTC fam? Now, we know there's a lot of OTC fam that's in Australia that we'll be to see. I know a bunch of you are.
Yeah, they're all going to be there.
But I want to know who from stateside is going to come. I know there's one guy that's
Robert
also
Dish.
G'day. Good to see you. And so I know there's one guy that we're trying to get over there too, who's also a big early supporter of the channel.
Tom Tate, very crypto-friendly mayor.
All right, that's going to be great. Very crypto-friendly.
Tom Tate.
He's like the Miami mayor over here. Very crypto-friendly. Right. Love that.
Except he's over there.
Yeah. But what is the Miami of Australia? Like, what's the South Beach? That's
a great question. It's got to be the Gold Coast.
It's the Gold Coast.
You look at the pictures.
What do we know, Jeff? We've never been there. We don't know. We have to rely heavily. We got to rely heavily. Big time. Matt, story guide us here.
We're just making it up as we go along.
K-Hud, what's up, K-Hud? Loves when anytime K-Hud's in here, you can amazing support all the time, man. K-Hud.
What happened to everybody?
Appreciate. Also, too, if you buy a virtual ticket, he could be your mayor anywhere. Hello.
Interesting. Is he the mayor of like virtual land? Is he a real mayor?
Well, he would technically be your virtual mayor when he's,
But the question is he a real mayor? What is he the mayor of?
He's the mayor of
Degustation.
Right there.
Degustation.
Mayor of Gold Coast, Queensland, right there.
Oh, for real?
Mayor. He's the mayor.
Look at that. Oh, he's a real mayor. He's actually a real live. So we're gonna have a real live mayor of the Gold Coast at the conference in the Gold Coast.
Correct. I remember Rush Limbaugh used to say, "I'm the mayor of Realville." I always loved that. The mayor of Realville. Yeah. And it's kind of like how I think about us, Jeff, because we like to hype up, and there's so much hype going on, and now the whole focus has shifted. The focus has shifted from it was like ripple. And it's like now you have a little bit of burst with Flare, and everyone's like, sell your bags. All in on Flare. And we've been bullish on Flare since the beginning, Jeff. I mean, it's great to see.
What is Flare? Let's see.
Pull it up there,
What
Jeff.
is Flare? Let's look it up.
Okay, so this is a good question. What is the point of this live, may I ask? Okay, the point is, the reason it's put on is to engage XRP, XRPL, to engage to see what the builders are doing, some speakers around blockchain. But it's
about our event?
Yeah, I'm talking about that event. So that's the 2-day that it's, and again, this reason it's put on is to create a phenomenal event for, I know there was a Las Vegas last year. I know Brad Combs puts that on. the Vegas one, and this is then there's speakers. There's 4 speakers from Ripple that are going to be there, plus all the people the biggest 2 things going on in the metaverse. You got the Expector verse, and of course, Futureverse and Readyverse with Aaron McDonald. We had Aaron McDonald on. I want to say it was a little over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, but was always really excited about that project. And of course, we've dabbled that on the Quest over there. Now, what's amazing about Futureverse as well is that they actually, if you remember, they got a pretty good grant, wasn't a grant. It was a round that they raised, and they raised like $50-some million, and Ripple was part of it. And they actually use on the Root network, they use XRP as gas, which is great. If you think about gas, Ethereum, it's Jeff and I know it's just like massive. But if you use they used XRP for gas and stuff, it's really low, which makes it really really well situated. So Steve Willett, hey, today, Steve.
I'll tell you what.
Steve Willett, you're going there. Please tell me you're going, Steve Willett. Please. I want to see you right
the
now.
widgets.
You get your ticket yet, Steve? Come on. This isn't your home. This is in your homeland. You got to be there, man.
Dude, look at this. So 7 days ago, 1 month ago, Flare, beginning of January, is hovering in that just under 2 cent mark. So it's 0.018. And everyone was like, Flare, you got to get, what's Flare? Why is Flare anything? Why is it interesting? Why is it interesting? Why is it interesting? Why is it interesting? And then it gets up here at the 3 cent mark, and it's a bunch of hype. You got to get Flare. You got to sell your XRP bags, get rid of everything, sell all your crypto, get into Flare. It's all about the Flare at the 3 cent mark. What happened? Where were all those people back here at the beginning of January at 0.018? That's what I want to know. Those big, bold predictors, all the predictions. That was a month ago. The 7-day run looks pretty nice too, because we're just a week ago, we're sitting at just over 2 cents. We're just under 2 cents. So even at the 2 cent mark, and then boom, all of a sudden we're at 3 cents. Boom, just like that, 1 week. It's exciting. Now, if we're looking at the 24-hour movement, I don't know. I'm not so excited about this movement. A little bit up, a little bit down, except look at that, 0.033. So now we're hovering a little bit towards a 4 cent. If it follows the same trajectory, just based on hype, speculation, and FOMO, we're going to be at 4 cents by next week, based on the trajectory of where it's growing right now in the FOMO. But based on the ramp up in the last 24 hours, man, coming from 0.27, touching almost a penny, we could be like, over the next couple of days, this could be like 4 or 5 cents, strictly based on speculation and FOMO.
Yeah, and the high, I think, was for, well, also too,
the high was the max was 4 cents. So it's,
of course, it had a lot to do with the Google running a validator as well. So I think that was
a lot going on. Yeah.
The start of the party off. But I think 4
cents. About back here or over here?
No, I was saying like as we started shooting back up again, right? So
yeah,
4 cents was the high. What was the high? 4 cents? Yeah, just right.
Yeah, it came out. It was just at 4 cents back January 10th of 2023. So 1 year out, 1 year. And, we obviously dipped considerably in the October timeframe. We're at the lowest point at 0.008. And it was at that point that if you were big into Flare, you'd be like, holy crap, got to load up the bags over there. And then as it's going to come back and skyrocket here back to 3 cents. And you're like, look at that. I just 3x.
See, is that ad there, Jeff? Scroll up a little bit or down or whatever. Just get rid of that.
I know, but the ad is fun. BC.game.
Yeah. All I can do is look at it. It's driving me crazy.
BC.game.
Well, there you go. There you have it. Lou Mera says all his Flare was vanished in the Celsius debacle.
Yeah, I wonder what the heck is that.
Hopefully, if you get 72% of it back, at least maybe you can put some, pump some of it back into Flare. It's still inexpensive enough. Matt said he was buying Flare, so there you go. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Oscar
says Flare looks like it's going to the event. The moon.
That's going straight to the moon event.
Shavo Mofo says, I ain't selling Flare. I've had 2 years of airdrops. Yeah.
Where do those airdrops go? Where do they end up?
They end up in my wallet. I don't know where they end up for you. I've been getting them for every month.
Which wallet?
The Bifrost wallet. Did you ever set that up?
Bifrost.
That's
the wallet.
Did you set yours up? Mine's automatic. So it's just like, they take the 0.05 or Flare or whatever. And then you
Let's see.
And it's automatic.
I don't know. I don't think I'm getting airdrops into that wallet. I don't think I ever did. Got a bunch of wrapped flare.
I don't remember what you guys had to do to set that up. I remember setting it up, but I don't remember exactly what it
I
was.
thought I had set it up. I haven't thought about it in so long, but now that I'm looking at it, we're talking about it. I had a whole bunch of contracts that were called.
Mark Smith and
Um,
I saw Keith Urban live recently. I was actually walking. There was an event in San Diego, big,
What was the
and they'd sectioned off the street, and I got to see Keith Urban.
I thought the flare was supposed to be automatic. It wasn't going to this wallet. I had it set up to a different wallet. It wasn't to Bifrost.
I always forget Keith Urban is Australian. For some reason, I always think he's like a country guy. I always feel like he's like from Nashville or
This
something.
is
But then he starts speaking, and you're like, oh, that's not.
let's see, where did my flare go? Where did my flare go?
I'll go if dingoes. If dingoes. I love
Definitely
them.
didn't end up on
Yeah, that's it. Autoclaim in the Bifrost. That's what I do. I get the autoclaim, and it was a better drop this past month. It was like something up a little bit.
Really? I don't know what happened.
You never set it up, Matt. What did you
must not have set it up properly.
Remember,
that sucks.
Been
There
getting
you go.
Man, I more than doubled my holdings.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. Where was I on this whole flare thing?
I don't know. We were talking
I'd
about
set it. I know I set it up on a different wallet. I never set it up on Bifrost. I thought I had it just automatic.
You had to put it in Bifrost. That was the whole thing. You had, and one of the, I think that was
it?
like a compatible wallet. Yeah. So then you put it in there, the mechanism, and then
That's weird. Yeah, I haven't thought about it in so long. Now that we're talking about it, it never worked. Whatever I did to thought that I set it up.
I don't know. Can you guys still do that? So
Can
Steve,
you get it retroactive?
I'll do anything. Not use MetaMask, please. Maybe you can use MetaMask.
And all these wallets suck. Tell you what.
Jeff says,
no good.
Love how we're doing monologues right now. Well, I didn't set out that way, but let's just put it this way. Jeff and I had a very busy weekend, and both of us were rushing to get back to the chair, and I didn't think I was going to make it. Meanwhile, I was waiting for Jeff. So there you go. So we don't always do monologues, but it's hey, we'll get off topic. We'll do stuff. We got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, you know what else is weird? You having any problems with having issues signing into my let me see if this works.
50 cent.
What's that? Oh, we still got this
XRP
thing up. What's going on with XRP? It's at 50 cents.
I don't know, Jeff. I don't know. I'm asking you what's going on with that. Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Let's see.
Well, pull that up. Is XRP dead? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's dead.
XRP.
But I did want to play.
There we go.
I was in a space the other day. I want to say it was early Thursday morning, 4 a.m. our time, which would have been probably towards midday over there in Australia. And I don't know. I grabbed my phone. I clicked on a thing. I was in a space, and then I heard David Schwarz was in there, and I heard him talking a lot. And so I was like, "This is really weird." I got kind of sucked down that rabbit hole, and I wanted to play a little bit and thank, Schwamos was the one running it, and he recorded it, and then Crypto Eddie, she put it on her YouTube channel. So I wanted to listen in on some of the stuff that David said, because there was one thing he said in particular. I was like, what? He was also talking about custody and some of the things they're doing. And I think he was in Dubai or something, which is why he was on, because I think it's midday over there. So I think that's what it was. It's doomed. It's not doomed. It's not. I don't say it's doomed. RIP my money. Yeah. Well, I honestly don't think it's doomed. I just think it's going to be. Look, when that bull market hits, it's going to have its day. It will pass the 375 or 385, 4, whatever the hell it was at. So there's that. Before you pull that up, I'm going to go ahead and put this up here. This is Crypto Eddie's channel. I want to play a little bit of the David Schwarz and some of the things that he says, because she did a great job of clipping it. But let's listen in here, Jeff. You ready? While you're looking.
I'm in Dubai right now.
By the way, do you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. For the Satoshi roundtable, and I debated.
Satoshi is in Dubai for the Satoshi roundtable. Everyone says that David Schwarz is. It's just like, are you admitting you are Satoshi? He goes, I'm in Dubai for the Satoshi roundtable. Are you Satoshi? So here, let's listen.
We heard about the hack. I debated whether I should go to Dubai or not, stay to manage it. I would say
no. When he's talking about the hack, he's talking about Chris Larson's wallet being compromised.
I have an amazing team, so these things are always like getting punched in the gut. It's just one of those things that just makes me wonder whether sometimes when I get a little reflective whether all this is worth it when stuff like that happens. It just,
It's like he's already ready to pull. It's like Jeff. He when stuff like that happens, he's wondering if any of this is worth it. Like that's a pretty broad scope to talk about there. Like it's like just pack it all in, let it go. It's over. But remember, this is also the guy that wanted to put sun panels on a sunroof or whatever those.
He
solar
spent
panels on his house,
a shit
84
ton of
million,
ETH.
what equated to something like $80 million of ETH. Dude, I got $80 million. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to be traveling the world and hanging out. We'll do remote broadcasts from every country. We'll go all over Australia, dude. Everywhere. We'll go outside. We'll go inward. We'll even go hunting yowies. I can't wait.
Yeah, I think Crypto Well meant to say something a little different. Don't put money in crypto that you are willing to lose. I think it's. I know what he meant, but
Yeah,
don't put money in crypto that you're not willing to lose. That was the point. I know it's just a mistype, but I love reading that though. It's even better. Don't put money in crypto that you're willing. If you're willing to lose it, don't put it in crypto.
But was amazing.
He's going to make gains.
This thing, Jeff.
What's
he won't
that?
The show. He'll go on a podcast that has. Honestly, he was on a podcast at 190 subscribers. He won't come on this podcast, but he'll go on like a podcast no one's ever heard of. That's not even remotely interested in XRP or Ripple, but that one he'll go on, right? Anyway.
It's just really painful. But this
is painful.
But the hacks and the thefts and the scams, they just really there's a couple of things in this space that make me wonder sometimes whether it's worth it. It's just depressing. And I know to some extent it's industry growing pains, but if there's anything that would make me wonder whether all this is worth it, those kinds of things, just sometimes I get a little, I know all the good that's being done in the space, and I don't know, just sometimes the theft really just to me personally, they kind of feel like getting punched in the stomach.
It's more like being punched in the throat if you want to get the area right. Punch in the stomach, you lose your air for a little bit. You can punch someone in the throat and you're done. You collapse someone's throat and you're done, right?
Money GCC also asked the question of why hasn't Ripple put all of its the founders' wallets actually in Metaco?
Well, that's a legitimate question right there. Like, why haven't the founders' wallets? I mean, it's institutional, but you're thinking like, why weren't the founders' wallets in Metaco?
Is that a possibility for us?
Yeah, that would have been a good thing.
No, this is embarrassing, Jeffrey. He is an answer.
That would have been a good thing.
It would have been a good thing, but
in retrospect, yeah.
He left it in a hotel, lobby with the key phrase right next to it, and we don't know. I mean, I'm just making it up, but it's like we still don't know how it was compromised.
Some model that was just a little bit more secure. There's a combination of different problems. One of them is wallets that were created when the value of cryptocurrency was very, very small. Wallets that have been around for a very long time. At one point, there was a time when 10 Bitcoin or 1 million XRP was like was not a significant amount of money. And so some of these wallets, you have wallets that were created a long time ago. Another problem that you have is wallets that were created and then have been used for various different purposes, and there isn't necessarily a complete control over where the private key has been or who created the wallet in the first place.
Oh, that's weird. This is getting into some really bizarre territory. Okay, I get the fact that, I mean, we know the stories about the Bitcoin guys. They, they played a game or did a quest or tried something, and they got, here's 100 Bitcoin, here's 1,000 Bitcoin, right? We know that happened there. But this is Chris Larson. This is worth $112 million at today's XRP price. Okay, we know that he has 2 billion XRP. So to him, it was like, wasn't a lot, but this is kind of troublesome, Jeff.
It's been used for a very long time. Obviously, these are not good security practices. Obviously, we all know all the problems with these security practices. It is a huge drag on adoption in the entire cryptocurrency space that people have to manage their own private keys somehow. Multi-sign is a really good tool. It's just not super easy to use.
But it is now because Zman rolled it out. Now, I don't think he was aware of this because I think it came out that Friday or Thursday or maybe that day. But Zman rolled out that's formerly Zman Wallet, but Zman rolled it out, and it looks really interesting. We covered it yesterday, and it looks phenomenal, Jeff, from what we covered as far as a multi-sign, because Zman's so easy to use. God, it's phenomenally easy to use.
And we've been trying to think creatively about other options for technologies that could provide more protection. One idea that we were bouncing around just a couple days ago was an idea of being able to have so you can already have a master key and a regular key for an account, and you can limit what the regular key can do a little bit. Like the regular key can't disable the master key, but the master key could disable the regular key. We were thinking about being able to have the master key like set a delay, so a transaction has to be submitted, let's say 24 hours before it clears, and the regular key could submit transactions with a delay and then release them after the delay had passed, and then the master key could revoke the regular key, change the regular key, or cancel transactions while they were in that 24-hour delay and enable or disable, the delay feature. So we're thinking about things like that to give people more control to protect against these kinds of risks. But physical wallets, like hardware wallets, are definitely a good form of. I highly recommend them. Paper backups, cold wallets, I definitely highly recommend. And I think also just if you have large amounts of cryptocurrency or amounts that are important to you, periodically review, like, how long have you had this wallet? How many people have had access to it? Maybe it's time to create a new wallet.
Jeff, let me ask you a question. How many people have access to your wallet? If you have one or two, how many have access to it?
One.
Yeah. Okay. That's the same over here. So I'm like, what's going on that all these people have access to your wallet? Like, hey, they have a party, and like, hey, guys, you have access to them. Like, it seems like I don't know. Does that seem odd to me?
Let me give you access to my wallet. Let me give you access to all my wallets.
Hey, let me give you access. Now, this is interesting because Jess Castano says, I'm sorry, but Ripple seems all confused as a company. 1,000 employees doing what exactly? I'm starting to get concerned about my investment for the first time since 2019. And, Jess, to your point, I'm wondering if, like, these kind of conversations that are happening internally, is this something you would voice? By the way, we were sitting around the other day, and we were talking about maybe like how we would, think about it, like a master key and a private key and a private key. And I mean, like, are these like conversations that are like, I don't know, they should be private, right? I'm like, it's like a little transparent, like, tell us stuff. But this is weird. I don't know. Does it seem odd, Jeff?
This whole thing is getting a little bit odd. You know what it's telling me is that even the best and the brightest in the space don't really feel comfortable operating in the space. They feel more comfortable with the protection of a bank or a financial institution infrastructure because they're admitting that, there's still a high probability that you can lose your shit,
And we're really going to lose shit when that happens.
And I mean, that's the whole point is that, this is what terrifies most people, is that something happens. You can put it on an exchange and all of a sudden you have no access to your asset. You can put it in your ledger and all of a sudden you have no access to your ledger. You can put it on a hard drive and all of a sudden realize that you only have 10 password tries and you forgot the password. And now you have no access to your crypto. There's so many things that can go wrong across the board, but when you put your money in the bank, you don't lose access to your money in the bank unless you're in Canada, and then you lose access to your money in the bank. So, to that point, be careful where you live, because even mainstream financial institution, mainstream banking can end up being extremely punitive based on where you live, meaning you can lose access to it. So then in that case, the risk reward, it's better to take the risk of putting your money on a crypto exchange than it is to put your money in a bank if you live in a place like Canada under the current administration in Canada, because they'll lock you out of it if they don't like what you say. So you have to risk reward. Lebanon has had more benefit overall in their economy based on being able to leverage and put their money into Bitcoin because of the the lack of security and how unstable the banking infrastructure has been.
And the currency.
So, and the currency, yeah. So those are all the things to take into consideration. But when you have ready access to banking infrastructure, you're looking at crypto more as a means of investment for longer term gains. Some people are looking for a means of investment for short term gains. But what who was it that I had commented, which was Crypto Whelp, he's saying don't invest money that you can't lose. So if you're going to invest that money and put it into crypto with all these things going on, take money, forget about it, put it over there it's not money that's going to change your life today or tomorrow, if it comes or goes. And it really sucked, Chip, when I lost access to my Bitcoin and Ethereum over on Celsius.
But
It's
72
really
back is
what's
something.
that?
Jeff. That's shocking that that's going to happen. 72% back. That's something.
So we're getting it back. I mean, I'm excited. It's not 72% pure in crypto. I went through the process yesterday, you know, to make sure that you can go onto the Celsius app and you can go through and make sure that you have an alternate email address on the app for Coinbase distribution. So they're using Coinbase, PayPal, and I think Venmo if there's cash distribution. So there's different ways to go about getting set up. Then they're communicating with everybody. And beyond that, is that some of that 72% or 71.86%, whatever that number is, a percentage of that is in crypto and a percentage of that is in stock. And they're going IPO with their new mining company. And that's so to me, it's interesting. You know, we see this development going on, and you hear Schwarz talking about, you know, to me, you know, is this a big fail? You know, that in the crypto space right now, when we're seeing big players in the space that are suffering because they're losing their ass. Well, they're not losing their ass because they have a lot more, but they're losing big amounts of money on their wallets. Is that the big fail? You know, that's, you know, where does that put us?
Yeah, this is Leon and Tron saying, what do you think about the uphold vault? It's very similar to what Schwarz was talking about, where you can give out two regular keys. You have a master key. If you lose one of the keys, you know, it's
so get in, you need something.
It's a bridge towards that too, you know, and you know, look, I mean, all I have to think about is someone like Stefan Thomas, Chris Larson. What it tells me is that, and a lot of people made this about Ripple, but what it tells me is that these are human beings that know better. They're not your average non-technical people. They know better, and it can happen. None of us are really immune to something like that happening. So, I mean, it just goes to show you, and we don't know all the circumstances behind this particular one. But I'm still waiting for David Schwarz to say something else that I wanted to riff on. But let's see.
And move the funds out of the old one just because of the passage of time. Over a passage of time, you have some credentials on a laptop. You don't know who's had access to that laptop or where you've left it.
Jeff, let me ask you a question. Does anybody have access to your laptop?
No, because it's password protected.
So is mine, Jeff. Mine's
and it sits here in front of me.
Right. And
unless you stole it. If you steal my laptop, then you have access, but then you have to get into it. And then once you get into it, then you have to go through all the other stuff.
But also my drive is also, you know, what do you call it? Secured. I mean, so there's a lot of things I have. Nobody has access to my laptop. So apparently over there, it's somewhere you have multiple people have access to your cold storage wallet and your laptop. I know what he's saying, but it seems kind of far out. I mean, if you're in the library and you're using one of their computers there, yeah, okay. They're always like, hey, are you in a public space? You know, if you're in an airport and you're using just the public stuff, yeah, man, you don't be checking your wallets when you're at the airport unless you've got, you know, some kind of a secure sort of way to protect yourself.
YubiKey. That's great. I have a YubiKey on my chain, you know, and if you have to go in and log back into something, like, where's your YubiKey? But the thing is, you can alternate YubiKey, or you can use your phone. You can use another external source. Yeah, how it goes, man. But John saying those stinking Celsius lawyers are trying to steal 27% of the XRP I managed to save from their clutches. They're not trying.
I mean, they're not trying. They're doing it, and
it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. And it's not really the attorneys necessarily. It's also the new entity. It's probably the SEC. You know, the SEC's got their talons in that one. You know, the court. You know, there's all sorts of stuff going on.
It's in the documentation. $2,000 an hour. John Dean said he's litigated against every top law firm, and he's never ever seen anybody worth that amount of money. Okay. No. Jess says they've tried to add AMM that the others already have. They just bought Medico when they had PolySign. You know, I mean, there's some stuff like things that make you go, huh? Like, does this make sense?
A lot of stuff doesn't make sense. Yeah.
About customers, not necessarily tech. You know, that's a lot of times why you would buy a company. You put their tech out of
Yeah.
business, use your own.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I mean, you're if you buy a company, you're either buying their customer base, you're buying their marketing prowess in the space, you're buying their position from a marketing perspective, and then you're buying their technology. You know, what other reason would you buy the company for if it wasn't one of those three?
Right.
And
or
in
something
many
like that.
instances,
You know,
yeah.
it's not that difficult to create a new account and move funds. But I think it's a huge problem for adoption. It's something we're gonna have to solve. I think the other side of that
Yes.
problem is like, if I die, how does my crypto get to my, my wife or my kids or, whoever I want it to get to? It's a similar problem of like, do my private keys die with me? And we don't have good answers to that problem
Great
either.
point.
I'm having a hard time
That's a good
with one thing here, and that is that Ripple would spend so much money on purchasing a custody solution provider, and not as the first course of action to show other institutional players that custody works, build their own, corporate custody solution, and make their executives with large holdings put it into custody.
Yeah,
I
in
mean, doesn't
retrospect,
that
we
sit?
certainly should have done that, right?
In retrospect, he wouldn't have sold all of his ETH to buy solar panels for a house. I don't think he even lives in that house anymore. Like the tune of $82 million. I mean, in retrospect,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have sold my Bitcoin at 800 that bought in 2012, right?
Yeah. Yeah. In retrospect, buying a pizza for 10,000 Bitcoin.
Probably not a good idea, in retrospect, right? Everything
You
in
know,
retrospect is good.
retrospect.
In fact, that seems like
Let's
that would
live
have
in
been a really
retrospect.
well. It's really easy to come up with an idea after you see, like,
That's
yeah,
right.
I obviously that would have been a really good thing to do.
Yeah.
In retrospect.
David Schwarz going, yeah, that would have been a good thing to do. Like
Yeah.
this is what happens when you sometimes you're just too smart for your own good. And you're thinking about everything else, but you don't think about just the bare
I mean, you
basics.
certainly, I certainly think you might see us doing something like that
So
sooner rather than later.
Well, now
a little
they
depressing
see
that
it.
despite all of the checks done by us and so many other people and so many other groups,
Doesn't.
that something slipped by. I think that just speaks to how complicated the technologies that we're working on
There you
are.
go.
The bug involves interaction with very low level code in the XRP ledger. The way the XRP ledger stores ledger objects and the structure that it uses to represent them. We had third party auditors. We ran a test network. We do audits of the code by different groups inside the company. Like I said, there was an independent third party audit. Obviously, other people look at the code too. I'm not sure. I haven't found out yet exactly what process caught this. It's kind of strange that the timing of when it was caught, because most of the testing that we do prior to even including the code in a public release. But it looks like it's an unfortunate issue that slipped through. I think a reasonable.
What he's talking about, they did discover a bug. They are fixing it, but he goes on to talk about. I don't think I'm going to listen to the whole thing. I'm trying to get to one part where, not to skip ahead, but he talks about obviously a big bug would be if it would be to create XRP. That would be right. Like that would be really rough. But I'm trying to see where
The amendment we'll just impose a stop. It's been
Yeah.
repeated by many people taking.
Did you mean like dollar amounts?
As far as what I meant, so there's a specific quote that's kind of annoying to me because it's been
Yeah.
repeated by many people taking out of context.
like
but let
me.
me be
Okay, listen up, Moon Boys. Listen to the specific quote I see all over X.
Yeah, so to be very clear about what I was saying in the quote that I was talking about, the cost of XRP doesn't directly impact the cost of a payment. So in other words, if I want to buy something from you and the value of that thing is, let's say it's the equivalent to $1 million US, like the amount of XRP, the price of XRP is going to determine if I'm going to pay you an XRP. The price of XRP will determine how much XRP I have to give you, but it won't make the payment any cheaper or more expensive, right? If the price of XRP is very high, I'll give you fewer XRP, but it'll cost me more to get them. And if the price is low, I'll have to give you a lot of XRP, but I paid less for each one. So there's no such thing as like cheap XRP making payments cheap or expensive XRP making payments expensive. And that's the point that I was trying to make there, that the price of XRP doesn't determine whether payments are cheap or expensive. But what does
Jeff, you look very confused.
Yeah,
You're like,
I'm waiting for him to finish his comment here. It's gonna be
happen
interesting right here.
is, in general, the higher the sort of market cap of the asset, it's not so much the price per unit, but the market cap does impact the ability to use the asset for payment. So for example, let's say I wanted to buy a house that was worth $1 million USD and I wanted to use Bitcoin to do it, right? Back when Bitcoin was like $100, you couldn't realistically use Bitcoin to pay $1 million because the market didn't have enough liquidity. Like if I wanted to buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin back then, I would have pushed the price up. And then when I gave the $1 million worth of Bitcoin to you, let's say to buy your house, when you go to sell those, you would push the price down. So you would take a loss on the buy and I would take a loss on the sell, and that would make the payment suck for both of us. But today, I can buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin without moving the market, and you can sell $1 million worth of Bitcoin without moving the market. So the higher, it's not so much the price, it's more the market cap, but really it's not quite like a higher price tends to mean a higher market cap, and a higher market cap tends to
exactly. What do you
It's
think?
volume. His point with all that, it's volume, and he's
liquidity.
He's making it. It's the liquidity of it, but he's making a really good point. With all of that, I mean, it's if and it's again, it's not so much the $100 Bitcoin. It's going to be how much volume, how much
mean higher
liquidity is
liquidity.
out there.
It's
How
really
many
more
buys?
like the sort of
What is
availability of
the buy
liquidity that
in? What does the
determines,
buy and sell
and
wall look
especially
like?
for big
Why is it
payments, like
still
if you want to
playing?
make it going to cost you more to buy,
You
or
hear
you're
it?
going to get.
I took it off because I'm trying to find a location. I don't want to
But it
annoy
was still playing.
Did you still hear it?
So bizarre.
Even though I'm not sharing. Hang on a second. How about now? Tell me now.
No, because it was still there, but you just put us in the background. But his point with the whole thing, and this goes to look at the NFT marketplace. If you go to Solana, we were talking about this yesterday. If you go to any of the Ethereum based marketplace, look at the volume and you look at price point on any given NFT. Forget about utility, anything. Just think about from the creativity, art perspective. People are buying them and saying there's value with what they're buying and trading them and selling in the secondary market. There's mass numbers of people doing that. Then you move over to the XRP platforms and you have very few people doing that. The price that people are willing to pay is going to be, and people buying them in general is going to be severely low, and you're going to see very low price movement because there's no liquidity in the space. There's no volume. There's nothing. And I like how he's focused in on that. But from that perspective, if there's a high volume, that doesn't also mean that the price point's going to go crazy. That just means that there's a lot of buying and selling, whatever the market. And right now, most of the crypto market is dictated based on what people's perceived value of that crypto asset is, what they're willing to buy and sell it for, and whether they think there's scarcity, whether they think that others are willing to perceive it at the same or higher value. And Bitcoin is recognized on a global scale at a higher price point. That's the FOMO behind it. That's the excitement right now. Why are people why is XRP at 50 cents? And that's where people perceive its value at right now. And when there's excitement in the market and the whole market picks up, where there's something that spurs XRP into another direction. To me, this is all it's interesting because we have good news, bad news, good news, bad news, bad news, bad news, good news, good news. It all kind of just all going together here.
Good.
But is it a big fail? I don't think it's necessarily all of these things are a big fail. I look at all of this as the space is 10 to 12 years old, still brand new, still learning, still growing, and each aspect of the crypto market are looking for its position in the market. So, XRP is trying to figure out what it needs to do in the marketplace. Bitcoin, is it going to be a store of value? Is it going to be something else? Can you use it as currency? People are really, figuring where that goes. And then all this stuff you can build on the XRPL. And then how does that impact XRP? Do you need XRP to build on the XRPL? Is that even relevant?
No. Well, this is a question right here. So Jess says it right here. You the XRP guys truthful about it, and the rest of the influencers. I think Jungle's been pretty critical of it as well. Crypto Eddie to some degree as well. She's never gotten into crazy wild projections, but I get your point. Just spewing pie in the sky projections and carrying, they're not that. And carrying around red folders at the end of the day that no one's using XRP, right? I mean,
it's not.
It's not even possible. Right. This is the part I queued up right here. Let's listen to what he says here.
Get, payments into the cryptocurrency space, and it's still baffling to me that we haven't been more, that nobody in the space has been more successful than they have. Obviously, I wouldn't say that we've been unsuccessful, but it's just baffling to me that there isn't broader adoption. Like, why aren't people using cryptocurrencies for remittances more than they? It's kind of puzzling to me.
It's puzzling to everybody that owns. It's puzzling to a lot of us, right? I mean, that's the point, because July 13th of 2023 is when Judge Torres ruled that XRP was not a security when being sold like on exchange, because it was a blind bid. Nobody knew who was buying for it. Now XRP being sold by Ripple to a institutional, then you had an investment contract and it was a security, right? But Jeff, what I don't understand is, like, have we heard any major announcements, banks, financial institutions, fintechs, any sort of an announcement from Ripple in 7 months? We heard zero.
Nothing.
A lot with partners. We've covered a lot of what's been going on with partners. We haven't really heard anything that Ripple's doing this. Yeah, they bought Metaco.
They're doing some things, man. They're building their business.
I'm not saying they're not, but I'm just saying the surprising thing to me was, okay, great. It's no longer a security. It's the only one aside from Bitcoin that has regulatory clarity in the United States. It has it everywhere else because people are way smarter outside the US when it comes to this. They don't have a Congress that's hindered by a bunch of uniparties, which would be difficult. Alchemist says 43-cent XRP Las Vegas will be rocking. There you go.
Say, man, I'll tell you what's crazy. So we haven't seen Alchemist in like 6 months.
Alchemist has been on the he's
not been on He's been on the download. He has not been in the chat.
But he's coming with some good
6 months. He's coming with a great point. Wonder where Alchemist, Chip and I have wondered where you've been. We've talked about it. Where's Alchemist? We're like, what?
We don't miss the counter in the chat. You need that. I need some balance over here. You know what I mean? Look at forget Mark says forget XRP. I just want the name of David's hairstylist. Well,
stop spider troll. Come on now.
I love the trolling. It's great.
Missed it. Hey, look who else is here. Another one. What in the world is going on?
Hey guys,
just pouring in.
The community is holding and buying. Where is the sell pressure? There's a good point.
Right. There isn't. You can't buy and hold and not sell.
Yeah, we had Venture on here probably 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I remember him sitting on his porch, videos,
rocking chair.
Man, they're fantastic. Those are the days, man. 1,000 employees. So what are 1,000 employees doing? What are they up to? What are they doing? They're always hiring people. It's funny because so what companies famously do is they'll advertise for positions when they're not hiring because they want to make it seem like they're growing. I don't think that's the case with Ripple. Ripple's actually, and most of the hiring is going well, aside from that one that just came out of New York. Most of it's overseas.
I was going to say, yeah, it's almost, it's all their development. But what Ripple is doing has nothing to do with the valuation of XRP or the development of the XRPL. Ripple's doing what Ripple does. I don't know. I mean, it's, they're going to keep building their company. They're doing some cool things. They're also doing some not so cool things with CBDCs, and obviously some of their guys aren't on the up and up when it comes to making sure their crypto secure, just like everybody else. Everybody's learning the process. They're learning the ropes, trying to figure it out. Everybody's susceptible. Look at even Gary Gensler, man. He was susceptible on the whole X thing.
Look what we got here, Jeff. So we have Mel Caron. I talked to Mel this weekend. We had a great conversation.
Man, everybody's popping in. This is great.
Yeah, the XRP QFS team. He says Jasara needs to be announced and everything changes. Trump needs to give back and everything changes. And then the central bank digital currency dead on arrival. I agree with that, man. And that's what's really going away. And there's a new transition that's coming, and a big transition. When that, Jeff, as you say, that pendulum swinging back with a major vengeance, and there's going to be some major upheaval. But we have to get Mel on the show. We got to figure out a good time, get Mel back on the show. Mel always has a wealth of information, but always a great way of looking at stuff, which I think sometimes differs from a lot of people in the community, which is refreshing. We'll have to work that out, Mel. We'll have to figure that out. So, but I wanted to play a little bit of that because I mean, when he talks about the fact that they haven't been particularly killing it with payments, right? So that's why we see them pivoting the tokenization. But the tokenization, that alone is massive. That's a massive scale. Payments is like a sliver. And, you have Visas involved. You have what's their competitor, MasterCard. You have JP Morgan. All of these, they're all doing their own sort of thing.
All doing payments.
You know the thing, Jeff.
You know the thing. Plus, you have BRICS. Everybody's trying to move money and figure this thing out. And there's Ripple. And so here, Jess is talking about, they're selling their assets to fund operations. They also have the escrow to help fund operations. There's a billion, billions of XRP just hanging out, sitting in a pot. But to that point, there's a lot of things are changing. And as all the big financial institutions, they were looking at crypto before they were laughing at crypto at all the companies saying, oh, hey, yeah, we're going to have to use, new payment rails and we're going to create all these digital means of moving money. We're just going to keep doing it the way we do it, the Nostro Vostro accounts, and keep it confusing, disorganized, a little murky, a little bit gray. So nobody knows exactly what's happening when it's happening. We'll take our fees out, all the different banks and all the different players. We're all going to make money and we're going to keep a lot of money just tied up in all these separate accounts. And that's what it's all about. It's like you get some, you get some, you get some. And that's how we're going to move the money. Everybody gets their piece. And now all of a sudden it's digitized. I'm like, oh shit, wait a minute. You're moving it from here to there. But what about all those guys in between? We don't need them anymore. We got to figure this out. So, now all, BRICS again, they're all trying to figure out how do they move money, between themselves. And there's Ripple on the sidelines touching all these different players. All, still cross-border payment. They still need these big banks and financial institutions still need a means to communicate with each other, and they need a means to move and transact their funds. And all these big players are dabbling in software and they're not figuring it out because none of them develop software. None of the banks develop their own software. None of the financial institutions that develop software to talk to and transfer money to others. Even Visa, did Visa develop the software is their software they use, or is there third parties that build the backbone to whatever computer processing power they're using to process all of their payments?
Look at this. So Mel's saying Trump said we need a monetary level playing field. So he said that a bunch of times, which means Jubilee.
We need BRICS.
Jeff in the Bible. That means Jasara.
We need BRICS.
I would love to see Nasara Jasara. I would like to see that. That's been going on for 20, 30 years now. I'd love to see it. Look at Jess is saying, I have a small business and I don't sell my assets to fund my company. Are you talking about the XRP stash that they have that they sell? But a lot of also too, there's a lot coming in. So when you buy Ripple solution, you are paying. It's a software as a
interesting
service. So it's a SaaS-based system that you're paying. It's not just when you move money. Ripple sells software. They sell a solution. So when they put a solution in, it's cloud-based, and then when you use it, obviously there's a small amount of money on the. Obviously they're saving because they don't have big transaction costs, but they are paying to access to the solution. So they do sell software. I do believe that Ripple is somewhat, profitable. Like they do have a lot of money coming in. Obviously, they have, their reserves and everything. But I'm just saying I don't believe they're selling that. They release it. They release a billion of those things out, and then it ends up coming back. But they're not necessarily releasing that per se.
Yeah. So here's some interesting comments. So XRP Venture, I love the idea of tokenizing real estate, tokenizing any asset. And, we're almost there, but still far away from it actually, happening in reality. And one of the things that Jess brings up is because there's no legal laws for tokenized asset. They don't have the infrastructure. We don't have a token taxonomy act. Congress is, tripping over themselves, trying to figure this thing out, haven't created the proper legislation to allow these things to develop and grow and as it changes. So we have NFTs. NFTs are just a little fragment of what can happen. We start tokenizing assets and real estate and all of that, you're going to need somehow an NFT to back it up. Here's your certificate. Here's these different representations. There's going to be a lot of cool things that are going to happen, but without proper legislation, Chip, we're kind of in a difficult point. You know, we're just
But why
not there yet.
legislation? I mean, we're not doing, because I would say most of Congress is compromised. I believe most of them are on the dole somewhere. With, you know, like I said,
Right.
they get you, they invite you over to a dinner. Next thing you know, like a girl pops up next to you, they snap a picture, you're looking bizarre, and all of a sudden they say, like, well, here's how you're going to vote from now on. They do this to everybody in Congress. So they get up, they go to the run to the microphone, and they're like, we got to do this, we got to do something, we have to do. They build this whole straw man. We got to care about. And then when it comes time to vote, they vote the other way, and you're like, what are you doing, man? What's up? Because they're all compromised. That's the problem.
Yeah. So Jim D is saying he disagrees with that premise. Crypto is basically electronic paper, a record of ownership, which it is, because you can track it, but you don't know you don't know who owns it. Hence, you need their certificate. Connect the NFT to the ledger, to that electronic. Make that the electronic paper of note to record the ownership. Now that's your NFT. You own that component. That's a representation somewhere else, you know, recorded on the block, you know, whatever chain it's on. It's interesting, but you still need the legal framework. So you can say that that's kind of like DocuSign, right? So DocuSign, from a technology perspective, I could say, Chip, you sent me a document, I signed it. It should be legally binding. I signed it.
It is now.
But it required legislation, because what happened from a legal perspective, it wasn't considered legally binding,
Right.
you know, because it was digital. And then they had to pass special, whatever they did, to approve it, to make it legally binding. And so it is now, but it wasn't for a while. It wasn't, you know, and so that to me is where we're at right now with crypto. We're there. The technology's there. We can see it. We can understand it. But yet we need a little bit more. We need something that makes it and says, okay, this is legally accurate. And I think we're not that far off from it, but we're getting there.
We are getting there. Well, Jeff, I wanted to share, you know what a big Apple fanboy I am. And I have to tell you, I've been pretty embarrassed by what's going on. Like, because there's a lot of videos being shared right now. This is shared by Neil Hartner over at Ripple. He said, this is Utah County, yet another reason to avoid Utah County. But let's watch this. So they just released the Apple Vision last week, and all
Cybertruck.
Yeah, that's the truck. But watch what you see now. Now the Vision Pro looks like a ski mask. It's got a long dangly wire that is attached to a battery pack that you wear. And I'm like, dude, I'm not doing any of that. This is like Steve Jobs would have never let this thing go out the way it's. But Tim,
let's see it.
Tim, the weakling over there at the Horse CEO, would do something like Jobs would have never allowed this. He's got that Vision Pro on there, and he's hitting menus and he's doing stuff while the car's driving down the road. We're screwed, Jeff. I mean, this is ridiculous. Look at him. He's got menus going on, you know. Dude, it's not meant to leave your house. You're not supposed to be driving vehicles with this. I mean, what in the hell, Jeff?
Is it even real?
Look at this.
Isn't even real.
Oh, it's really real. But here
we go. Really throwing stuff.
The Simpsons once again called it.
I love that.
They are.
That's great.
Once again, you see, got the dangly wire to the battery pack.
They're the best. Yeah.
Of course, I can't play the music. You know.
No.
Look at this. You know. And then look at these.
That's great.
Look at him on. Look at he's. I mean, this is bad optics, man.
That is bad optics. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good in any way, shape, or form.
Stupid.
They think they're cool. They're gonna do all that stuff. Don't wear that in public. Don't be a douchebag. I mean, come on. That's not a to be worn in public type of thing. It's bad enough. You know, we all look at our screens all day. You know, that's bad enough. You put your scuba mask on and you're in the workplace. I get it. If you're in a special workplace and you need to work on something big project and You need big screens. You need to grab and be all sci-fi about it, but don't be a douchebag in public.
No, I wish I could
That's
play the.
all I'll say.
Can I play this? This is a weird song on it. Oh, I might be able to play this. Let me see if I can get the sound on this. But somebody put this up, and they said that this was deleted footage of David Schwarz when he had the idea for XRP. So let's see if let's see what this looks like, Joe. Okay, so let's put this on. Let's make this big. But here's a guy right here. Here we go. Ready?
I owe the banks a lot of money. Little do they know, I just learned about manifestation. Now I'm gonna get so much money. I don't need a job. Why? Because I can manifest. I don't need the old gods anymore. I answer to no one. Everything is mine. Thanks to manifestation.
What the heck is that?
Manifestation. Yeah. Do you see what you do?
Manifestation.
It's just manifest.
Oh,
That's what you gotta. That's what it's all. You gotta manifest, Jeff. But yeah.
gotta manifest it.
Okay.
Hey, so Elion Tron is playing devil's advocate and says, "Will NFTs be used to prove gun ownership?" No,
Maybe
no,
it's possible.
never.
No, but I mean, but
Never say never. To
what can I-
prove gun ownership?
Proppy.
No.
We have to get the CEO Natalia over here from
No,
because I love what
that'd
Proppy.
be craziness. If
Yeah,
that
yeah.
happens, we're done.
Well, no, I mean it's like yeah.
Tokenizing real estate where multiple people own the land. Yes.
No,
Is
multiple-
that you will own nothing and be happy? No, it's invest from an investment perspective. You can already have own land. You can own fractional shares of real estate, and that's really the point. There is if you can own fractional shares of industrial real estate or office buildings or whatever it might be, whatever the latest thing is, you can't go own it yourself, but you get 1,000 people into it, and all of a sudden you do, that's your fundraise, and all of a sudden you get, people are investing in that real estate. To me, that's interesting. It's doable now. You don't need cryptocurrency to do that. But what the cryptocurrency aspect of it simplifies your ownership and the transmission of your ownership to somebody else. So if I owned real estate now, Chip, how difficult would it be for me to sell it to you?
Well, it's not difficult. I mean,
But the hoops that I have to draw, all the third parties that we have to interact with.
well, this is yeah. It's there's a lot.
And
And
paper.
Proppy's also doing they're also doing title work, which is really interesting. So that's why I love to dig more on that because and I have a big
We
fascination.
should bring them on. Yeah, they would be good to talk to.
See what you do because I love what they're doing in the space. But this
But
is
the transaction of the real estate's easy. And if it was on an NFT and recording, we didn't need all the other fat that goes around with it and say, here's my NFT. I own it. I'm going to sell it to you. Here you go. Now you own it. And
Right.
maybe you have a third party that helps you complete that transaction that's not a person.
Jeff, we have time for one more thing here. Somebody made this video. I don't know what this. I honestly don't know what this is, but it's fantastic. This is someone said Nancy Pelosi had a new show, and this is it right here. So if you look here, let's watch this.
Nice.
Now, what she's sampling right there is the original Tide Pod on the left, and there's like the other generic print on the right. Now, obviously, this is parody. You're not. So look at the background. This is fantastic. She's got an "I love abortion" tag on, right? But this is like she's sampling them to see which one's better.
For the moment, I like this better because I like the Arthur Tide. So no offense to either brand.
Oh my God.
Tide.
Tide Pod experts,
Tide Pod experts exposed. Oh my God.
doctored by Carpet. Yeah, he got banned from the expert. But this is fantastic. The original Tide Pod. She likes the original Tide Pods better, which
They clean better.
Oh,
They're
but
better.
that's it. We're gonna get out of here,
Man,
Jeff.
we got to get out of here. All this stuff to throw out there. You could register the serial number on the blockchain for proof of gun ownership. No, that would infringe on your Second Amendment right. There shouldn't be a national registry.
Well, there already is, Jeff. They already did it.
Well, they can say it, but they don't have the serial number is only kept by the gun store that you buy your gun from. But it shouldn't. There's no national registry.
There was a national registry. They went to all the gun places and they made them.
Yeah. Alchemist saying, back in my day, talking on the cell phone in public was considered rude and impolite. And there you go. And now the douchebaggery has gone to a whole new level with these masks.
When I see a mask, I'm just like, thank you for letting me know who you voted for. I appreciate it. I'm going to avoid you at all costs. You're breathing through that mask, but I'm sure 1 micron can't fit through holes that are 67 microns. Thanks. Thank you for avoiding logic and any reason, but thanks.
DNI.
This has been all old schools coming in here, man. What's going on, DNI?
Man, big shout out to everybody. Got XRP Venture, Digital Nomad Investor, Alchemist, bunch of OGs in the space that have been here with us a long time. Oscar, we haven't seen Oscar in here for a while either. I know he's probably hovering in the background somewhere. But man, it just everyone shows up the same night that we haven't seen on for a long time. So I appreciate everybody that's on here. A lot of great commentary. Jess Castano giving some words of wisdom, which has been great. Ellie and Tron playing devil's advocate. Lou out of Tampa, man, but lots and lots of people here, which is really, really great. And Will wants me to shave the sideburns.
What?
I think he's talking about the
Let me see. You
I don't know. Got nothing. No.
Burns. Oh, I see. You got the burns up to here is what he's saying. He wants you to do this. You got the
What?
burns crawling high, That's what he's saying.
I got nothing.
You got the big old burns. I was shaving the other day and I accidentally cut the one up a little bit higher and I was like trying to even it out. This one goes up. It's like,
Oh, you got him. Maybe he's referring to you and not me. I don't know because I got no sideburns.
so.
Do you have sideburns?
I got I was like I trimmed
look
them
at
up,
that.
but
Look
then
at you. Look at that.
see they were down there and then I trimmed this and then I had to trim this one. And next thing you know, they're gone. You'd be like an android. I'll be shaving my eyebrows off. Look like an android, Jeff.
Oh God. Yeah, I accidentally shaved my eyebrow. I wasn't paying attention with the razor. I was gonna shave my head and I was just like,
Oh my gosh.
shoot.
You
Like,
can't have
my eyebrow's gone.
no.
Lamb chops. That's okay.
That's all we got. We'll see you guys back here on Wednesday. We're also trying to get Tony
Wednesday.
get him on here and see if he can do Wednesday, but we got some good guests coming up that will be on the show. So guys, we'll see you guys on the
chain.
Jeff. Ow!
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.